My name is Alana Blockley and I was born in Glasgow and I've lived here all my life. My family is from the fairground community, which means every summer the community we have machines and kiosks, snack bars, and we travel up and down the country, and it's for the fairgrounds, so this is our livelihood, this is our business. And my family stopped this when I was younger, and we've continued to have snack bars and kiosks for the past 20 years. So I just went to school during the winter months, and then at the summer I would help my mum and dad in their business, and there was no option of having a day lying in bed doing nothing. I was, had to go out and learn the family business and learn how the way the travelling life was. But as I grew older, I wanted to continue my education, so I stuck in at school. I had no religious upbringing when I was a child, it's not really anyway. At school we had an RE class, a religious class that we had to go to, and I don't actually remember learning about other religions. I only remember learning about Christianity, and we spent most of the time watching different cartoon videos of the prophets and stuff like that, and that was the fun part, watching the cartoons. But the only thing I remember is going to church at primary school in a group and saying the Hail Marys and things like that. But it was nothing really taken seriously, or it wasn't like we went to Sunday school, or I didn't go to the church every Sunday or anything. And throughout the year it would be Christmas and Easter that we would celebrate, out of the fact that everyone else around us was eating chocolate or buying Christmas presents. But it wasn't really made, it wasn't an emphasised thing that it was about God and that it was a religious holiday. That wasn't really the main focus of it. It was just something that we did because it was the social normality. So my opinion of Muslims and Islam before I became a Muslim was that I was heavily influenced by the Pakistani community, and I just saw Islam through them, and the way they dressed and the food and everything like that. But I just listened to what the media sort of said, that the typical things, that they're bad people and they're terrorists, the men beat the wife, and the wives can't work and they need to stay at home and cook and clean all day, and that's the only sort of perception that I had. Because I never had any Muslim friends, I didn't have a need to worry about what I thought anyway. It was just part of our country, and that was, I accepted it. But it wasn't until I started to meet Muslims and start to question Islam that my perceptions of Muslims and about Islam changed as well, and I started to understand that Islam is across the world. And when I studied the books and I understood that God isn't a man sitting on a chair with a white beard and a white robe, it's not a person. God, when I started to learn all the different attributes of God and only my Muslim friends knew that I was a Muslim. So it took me a full year to cut out alcohol and to start eating halal food, and then I told my parents, and I was really nervous for telling them. So just before Ramadan I knew that if I was going to do it I would lose weight, and it would be quite noticeable. And my family would, because they live so close to me, they would see that I'm not eating, and they would question what on earth I'm doing. So I came home from work one day and went and spoke to Mum and Dad and said that there's something that I really needed to tell them. And they started to get really nervous because I didn't have a clue what I was going to say. And I told them, they says to me, "Are you pregnant, or have you crashed your car or something like that?" And I says, "No." I says, "What actually is I want to be a Muslim." And they was fine with that, completely fine, and they've adjusted really well. Certain adjustments and live it the way you can adapt your life to be like that. I didn't think 3 years ago that I'd be sitting here wearing a scarf, but I am. And I didn't think a year ago that my mum would be stopping smoking, and the past few weeks, alhamdulillah, she has. So you never know, that could be in 5 years that they stop drinking, you just don't know. But if I wasn't a Muslim and someone came up to me in the street and started, talking about religion, I'd be like, who are you to, what are you all about? But I think it's more about the actions that people have. So we have got into these conversations about God and different things, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm their daughter, so I don't want to question their, religion and looking about, following a religion and rather than just believing in God. What I noticed was that if you're a Christian, for me, all that consists of is you celebrating Christmas and Easter and you go to church on the Sunday. There's nothing more to it than that. But when you look at Islam, there's so much that it involves. It affects your whole way of life. So it affects, what you eat, how you dress, how you act, the way you deal with things. For praying and everything. So I knew that if you was a Christian, I didn't feel as if I would have any structure in my life, that all you would do is go to church on a Sunday, then that would be it. Tradition that we've had the whole of my life. So we came to the compromise that we would have a halal Christmas dinner. So I made the big deal like the month before it to go to the halal butchers that we have and order a turkey. So we had everything prepared. My dad wasn't going to prepare the food with any alcohol or anything, and it was going to be a completely halal dinner. And then when we went over to the butcher's the day before, the turkey was actually humongous, and my mum and I were both freaked out because my first encounter with the Quran was when I was given the Quran. It was a small one. But I didn't really look at it too much because I actually couldn't see the writing. It was that small. But my friend Safir and Gemma, they both chipped in and got me a lovely, a big massive Quran, and it had the English in it, the Arabic and the transliteration, so I'd be able to attempt to pronounce it. What Islam means to me is, being part of a community that believes in the same thing and feeling at peace and feeling comfortable and knowing what you actually believe in and knowing that you have a set of values that you